Chanticleers have been waiting and waiting, and finally the moment is coming and the opening of the season. Fielded in the end zone. It's Green. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. From the gun, they'll give it on the inside. They believe in that running game. Got 6 before he stopped at the 23. All right, guys, let's talk for just a moment about Virginia. The good news about starting the season outside the top 25, not a lot of lofty expectations. You can sneak up on a few teams, but sooner or later, you're going to want to get that attention and get into those rankings.
A lot more, but it's not impossible.
Wide open spaces. Oh, he's getting ahead of steam. He's got 42 yards on the ground already. That is a way to make a statement early.
What a run, man. I tell you what, it's hard to pop runs. It's hard to get 3, 4, 5, 6 yards a lot of times. But when you got backs like this who can make huge plays with the speed, getting out in the open field, can take it the distance on every play, defenses are scared out of their mind.
And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage.
Great job at contained by this defense. And in order to do that, the end man on the line of scrimmage defensively has got to be able to set the point and force the football back into traffic. And that's exactly what happened there.
Dropping back, it's Morris. Working the middle, it's complete. He's really close to that first down marker, but they stop him just a bit short.
This quarterback right now is in a groove, and he's doing a nice job in pre-snap. He's reading the coverage, and he's getting an idea of where he wants to go with the football. That's why the ball's coming out of his hands so quickly, and that's why he seems like he's in a great rhythm right now.
To the ground to try to move the chains. And the Cavaliers will move the sticks with the first down.
Man, talking to the OC this week, getting this running back going was step number 1, was priority number 1. He said it makes the whole offense go. Like, he is the bell cow, he is the guy. This offense doing exactly what they set out to do on this first drive.
The Cavaliers have their offense in high gear. Might as well run him until they stop him. He's got it again.
And those body blows really, really matter. Like, I want to be able to hand the ball off to my running back 10, 15 times a game. Make the defense tackle them, wear them out. Sometimes these 3 to 4 yard runs, later in football games, they turn into 5 to 15 to 20-yard gains just because of the body blow effect.
Motion from the wide receiver. Second down, they'll go to the air. Under pressure, and down he goes at the 33.
And all defenses talk about it. Sacks, tackles for a loss, affecting the quarterback the best way you can. The first drive of the game already getting home. Nice start for this defense.
Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. On 3rd and long, he'll need to loosen up that arm. Working that left side. And right in the middle of tight coverage, and he still makes the grab at the 15. And they just want to give this guy a chance to make a play on 3rd down, and more times than not, he is going to deliver.
He's so good, so efficient, such a good route runner, got the speed, got the complete game, so you definitely want to highlight him, and especially on those downs that matter the most.
Quarterback feeling the pressure, and down he goes at the 22.
And this defense has kind of been up and down on this opening drive, right? That's their second sack, which is good. They need more of those plays, but they've given up a lot of yards. Down here, this part of the field, man, this defense is going to have to find a way to make a few more plays to keep them out of the end zone.
Easy. Gringo. Looking to throw, it's Morris. Got his man, and he goes out of bounds after a nice pickup on that one. If that running back wore a half-size bigger shoe, that's an incomplete pass, but he got a foot down.
He got it down. Nice body control, and you see so many running backs work with wide receivers now in practice because they're such good route runners, and you could tell the awareness was fully there near the sidelines to get that little toe in bounds, baby.
On 3rd and long, he'll have to turn it loose deep. Pressure all over the quarterback, and down he goes at the 24.
Give the defense a lot of credit on that one. A little bit of bend, don't break here in the opening drive of the game. They gave up some yards. They were down inside their own red zone. But on that critical 3rd down, phenomenal effort individually to win his one-on-one, get to the quarterback and bring him down to the ground and really try to take some air out of this offense.
After that last field goal drive, they're set to kick it away. The kickoff bounces through the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 25. Time for one more snap before the end of the quarter. Leaves it with the running back. And he'll be stopped for no gain and will be stopped for the end of the first quarter.
Virginia, 3. Coastal Carolina, 0.
First play of the period will be a 2nd down. Back to pass. Picked off. What a play to set him up. Looking for more room. Touchdown, Cavalier. And what a turn of events as his defense gets the pick 6.
And this is exactly what you dream about for a defense. Forcing the big turnover, making the pick, and then putting points on the board yourself. Great play by the defense.
They're set to kick it off, and this crowd now ready to get behind them. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. The drive starts from their own 25-yard line. Looking to pass. It's Barber. Oh, they're after him. Good hands in there by the defense to force the incompletion.
And there's an example of what happens when the quarterback doesn't have a chance to set his feet. The pressure just forced him to have to work off schedule a little bit. And I think because of that, wasn't able to be as accurate as he wanted to be.
After the incompletion, it's 2nd and 10 from their own 25. Caught over the middle. It's John. And good coverage by the defense, just a short gain.
Listen, running backs are not just running backs anymore. You're going to be a wide receiver in today's football. And a great job sneaking out of the backfield, getting them the football, letting them get some positive yards.
Trying to move the sticks on 3rd down through the air. And he gets it up to the 36. It'll be a 1st down.
That's just a very easy, comfortable throw for the quarterback. He knows he has his big target, tight end, running across the field on the drag. Nice play.
Looking to throw on 1st down. Makes the grab on the left. They make the stop, but he'll have enough yardage for a 1st down. That was a nice pickup, running the drag route and finding that quiet, soft spot in the zone.
Yeah, drag routes not only work against man coverage, they work against zone too. If you can find the...
Turning on the Jets. And he slipped through the crowd, and he'll house it. Touchdown, shot to clear.
It's so nice as a quarterback when it's not just your receivers that are dangerous after the catch. How about the yak ability by this tight end? He's a guy that can stretch the field. He can make DBs miss, and he's got speed. He's a generational talent. He's really helping out this offense.
Kickoff unit is out there, and boy, did that last drive quiet this crowd. He'll start the return inside his 5. He was looking for more running room, but none to be found as he stopped at the 23. This drive opens up at the 23-yard line. They go to the ground. Finds his way ahead for 3 out to the 27-yard line.
And sticking to the run. I tell you what, a lot of teams that are really good are really stubborn, and they continue to run the football even with little success. So this offense is going to continue to focus on running the football. You can tell.
Back to pass, it's Morris. Got it in the middle, it's Thomas. And his molars are probably rattling after that big hit, but he did get the first down.
And that is exactly where the football was supposed to go. Offensive coordinators call drag routes, anticipating man coverage. Even though the ball's only traveling 2, 3, 4 yards down the field, if the receiver is able to get a rub and create some separation and the quarterback hits him in stride, that little completion, that can turn into a 20, 30-yard gain.
They'll leave it with him. A confident, tough, efficient run gets it up to the 44.
It's got to feel good as an offense knowing that early in the drive you can turn around, hand it off, get a push up front, and go get positive yardage.
And the Cavaliers in a good spot here with 2nd and short. They give it to him again. They went right back to him, and this time the defense was all over him. Nothing to show for that run.
And nice job by the defense. Understanding 2nd and short, they're playing run. You can see super physical, now forcing the 3rd down and short.
They'll take this lead to the 2-minute timeout and see if they can tack on a little more before the break. The Cavaliers are at the line looking to convert on 3rd and short. Let's go! On 3rd and short, they'll try to pick it up with the pass. And they can't hook up on the big play, and that brings up a 4th down.
And I like the aggressiveness on 3rd and short, trying to throw the football, take advantage of a look that they got. They weren't successful, and now it's 4th and short territory. Who knows what they're going to do?
On 4th down, he'll try to toss it. Hauls it in, the 1st down and more. And the defense makes the immediate tackle, but he has enough for the 1st down. Really good job there. Don't force anything. Take your time, and he finds his man for the 1st down.
Yeah, and I think really good job by seeing the defense. Understand that they're dropping back. They're taking away most things. All right, get the ball to my running back. He can make plays after he catches it. Nice job by the quarterback seeing the situation and where to go with the football.
Looking to throw, it's Morris. Grabbed in the middle, it's Ennis.
As a tight end, if you're going to be good in the passing game, you've got to be able to feel the windows when defenses play zone coverage. And he did a really good job of that right there. He didn't rush. He didn't hurry. He took his time, found the soft spot, and gave his quarterback an easy place to throw the football.
And the Cavaliers with a 2nd and short to keep this drive moving. There he goes! All the way down to the 25-yard line. They move the sticks. It's 1st down.
This defense really is on their heels. They've been on the field now for a long time on this drive, and they're just getting pushed around at the point of attack up front like we saw in that last play.
Not this time. After finding running room on the previous play, nowhere to go this time around as the defense rises up.
And when you play defensive end, it's all about getting off the football. You can tell, gets off the football really fast, gets in the backfield, gets the running back before he knows what hit him. What a play by the defensive end.
Throws to the wideout. Intercepted deep in his own end. Takes it the other way. He's inside the 40.
Defense is about negative plays, creating negative plays and creating turnovers. What a great job, not only creating the interception, but doing something after it. You see the blocks after the interception, return it almost back to the house, and now you set your offense up with great field position.
So let's see how they play it in this final 30 seconds of the 1st half. Corners right up on that line of scrimmage. They'll come out on this drive and let it rip. Hauls it in. All down, but he has enough to move the chains.
The defense needs to have a plan for this guy. They weren't ready for that one. Drag route running all the way across the field, and the DB just can't stay with him because of his speed, and as a result, they give up a big one.
Caught in the backfield, it's John. Oh, he's got some space. They'll get it down to the 10-yard line on that completion. That's going to wrap up the first half here, and now we join Kevin with the halftime update. The Cavaliers will kick it away first, and we'll start the second half. Coming out with it, it's Washington. Stopped at the 17, and he's probably second-guessing that return. First snap of this drive will come from their own 17. They keep it on the ground to open the third. Able to pick up a couple before he's dragged down at the 19.
And the defense doing a great job committing to the run. When you commit to the run like this, obviously you can give up some plays in the passing game, but you got to stop the run first.
Looking to the big tight end. On target over the middle. That's the kind of play that can really get you going as they get it out to the 36.
It's important on offense to get the tight ends involved in the passing game. These are big fellas that can run, and this guy's a big target, so nice job on that play.
They'll snap it from the 36. They've got a first down. Looking for space. It's Simpkins. And he's to the 48-yard line. That'll be good enough for a first down.
Well, you wonder if one of the adjustments they made at halftime, trailing in this game, was to try and get the ground game established, David. They're off to a good start here.
Dang right. Stay patient. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to press. Just try to get scoring drives together. Don't abandon the run.
He's brought down quickly. Minimal gain there. Still a bit short of the first down.
I like the decision by the quarterback here. Just get the ball out of your hands. Get it to your playmaker. A lot of times he'll dance and make even bigger plays than he did here, but it was still a positive game.
Fires to the tight end. He's brought down, but it'll be enough for a first down.
Well, the tight end shows off his speed. See his ability there to separate from the defender trying to cover him on that drag route.
Dropping back, it's Barber. Setting up the screen. And this one will be stopped for no gain.
And on those screen passes, I want those defensive linemen to run right up the field, and I want to throw it right over their head where I got some space and I can get my running back going. That is the opposite of what happened right there. There was no space. He couldn't even get going.
To the air on second down. Snagged in the middle. It's Simpkins. They stop him almost immediately. Short gain there, and still a little ground covered. Pick up the first.
Guys out of the backfield now, it's not just run the ball downhill anymore. You got to be versatile. I got to be able to trust you in the pass game, and I got to be able to throw you the football, and you can do that right there. I know you're going to catch it, and I can depend on it.
From the gun on third down. Finds the tight end.
And on defense, you make the tackle after the catch for a first down. Now you got to go get lined up again because the offense is going fast.
They think there's room to run to the right here. Finds just enough room to pick up a couple down to the 26.
That's a really good job by the defense, wrapping them up, getting them on the ground. Take away that run game. Make them one-dimensional, put them in passing situations. Really good job by the defense.
Back to pass on second down. Finds his big tight end. He's brought down, but there's a flag on the play. Let's see if it stands. A late hit moves the ball up 15 yards. I know there's pressure, especially in this area of the field, to get to the quarterback, but you can't give up a first and goal there. And he was fortunate to get that one back to the line of scrimmage at the 5. No gain on the play.
If you're going to stop the run game, you better be physical up front on the defensive line. They've got some maulers. They've got some dudes with bad intentions. Nice play there.
And the D deny them on second and goal. He'll run it up the middle, trying to pick his way to the end zone. Touchdown, Coastal Carolina! And that one will give him the lead.
What a push up front by this offensive line. Everyone playing in unison, driving out of their stance, working into the second level, hats on hats, creating a lane for that running back.
And for a quick update, let's go to Kevin Connors in the studio.
Boys, expect the unexpected in college football, and for some, this update could fall under that category. Wake Forest rose to the occasion when it needed to, and they'll be celebrating a solid victory there in Winston-Salem. Week by week, you can feel the momentum building within that program. Regardless the outcome today, guys, these are still two quality programs. Proof the sport is as healthy as ever.
Yeah, how about that? Sounds as if they had a good ball game there. Kevin, thanks for the update. They come to the line for the first play of the drive, snapping it from the 21. Wants to throw. It's Morris. Gets it out fast. No chance to run, but still a solid pickup on that one.
Nice quick throw there. It's so important for quarterbacks to be able to find a rhythm and to be comfortable and confident. You want to just get the ball out quickly, make it an accurate and easy throw. And you can tell that these two guys, they rep that play in practice all the time, and it's now showing up here.
They weren't able to get that one off. It'll be a delay of game. That is a completely avoidable penalty. The quarterback just went into brain lock and lost track of the play clock. Offense gets set for second down.
Timeout, Virginia.
Ready up. Moves.
Looking to fire. With the catch, it's Thomas. Still on his feet at the 45. And they'll do more than move the chains. They'll move that thing more than 30 yards down the field before he's finally stopped.
That's the end of the third quarter. Coastal Carolina 14, Virginia 10.
So first down, we'll open up the final period.
Come on, set.
Defense showing plenty of pre-snap movement of their own. One man in the backfield, and he gets it. It's a seam wide open. He's at the touchdown, Virginia. And they've moved out front here in the fourth.
And this offense really showing their physicality, running the football when it matters, in the fourth quarter, in crunch time, to take the lead in this football game.
And he knocks it through, and the lead is a field goal here in the fourth quarter. Quick strike offense on that replay scoring drive. And the capper came on a 34-yard jump to the end zone. He'll bring it out. It's Washington. Pulled down at the 18, and the decision to bring it out of the end zone was not a good one. A little bit backed up to start this drive from their own 18-yard line. Back to throw, it's Barber. Keeps looking downfield. Trying to make magic on the scramble. Brought down at the 28, but it's a 10-yard gain.
Bad news for the defense. They gave up a first down on a scramble. Good news, though, they got a lift. on that quarterback. That is a dream shot for anybody on defense. So, yeah, you might have made a good play individually. Good job, bud. Attaboy. You might get a helmet sticker for that, but you're also going to be in the ice bath after the game.
Hit hard just as he released it on first down and just couldn't get it to the receiver.
Quarterbacks need time when they're in the pocket to complete throws. That QB had no shot after taking that hit.
Backed up now, here's second and long. After the incompletion, back to the passing game. And that pass will be jarred loose on second down. That brings up third down.
Well, that looked like it was going to be a completion, but how about the defender making the hit and forcing the incompletion?
They've made third down offense a key. It'll be tested on third and long from the 28. From the shotgun, the handoff to the back. He stopped right there, short of the first down, and this defense trying to preserve the lead.
Yeah, and this offense has to find a way to run the football. They got to get more creative, but whatever that looks like for this offense, something to jumpstart them because nothing really going on the ground.
Yeah, defensively, though, you got to give them credit, too, because they knew that physically they were going to try to be challenged up front. That was a big MO for this offense coming into it, but the defense, they've risen to the occasion. Their front seven has dominated.
He lets it fly. Intercepted. Big play stops the drive. And he's wrapped up after a solid return on the pick.
Oh, man, and that's a big interception late in this game. And listen, I know you're trying to go vertical with the 4 verts, but so did the defense. Great job staying deep, playing the football in the air, and forcing the ginormous turnover.
Virginia has it back. The Cavalier offense headed to the field. The give to the back. Got enough for the first down and wants more. That's why a good running game is a coach's and quarterback's best friend when you're trying to put the lid on the game. They've got it at the 36. It's a 1st and 10. QB draw. Couldn't really get started there. Pickup of 1 to the 35.
At this point of the game, the offense has the lead, and the offensive coordinator knows they want to keep running the football. So he's going back, he's looking at his playlist, and he's saying, which runs work the best for me in this game? What can I lean on right here to make sure we win this one?
Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9.
29 Philly. 2-9 Philly.
To the air, it's Morris. Here's a heat. He scrambled forward and got a few and turned that into a positive play.
Well, you're making a positive out of a negative. And that time, quarterback, nice job buying time. He's trying to throw the football downfield. Nothing there. So instead of throwing it away, getting the incomplete, just get what you can get and make this next down more manageable.
And the Cavaliers come to the line on 3rd and short, looking to keep this drive moving. They'll immediately call timeout.
Timeout, Virginia.
The Cavaliers are at the line trying to move the sticks on 3rd and short. Wants to throw on 3rd down. Quickly to the tight end. He'll come through on 3rd down as he's got enough, and they'll mark it at the 23. Boy, the defense really needed to get off the field there, and they just couldn't do it, and it's a fresh set of downs.
Man, that hurts. When you're trailing late in the ball game, you need those stops, and you get them to 3rd down. You get them to those critical points. Now they get the first down. You don't have many left. You better get aggressive.
And that's really nice offensively because you're in the red zone. You do have an opportunity to add to your lead here, but you're staying in bounds. I think the clock right now is the most important thing. How can we keep this thing ticking away? By going down in bounds, you're doing exactly that.
Solid pickup of 4 on first down. It's 2nd and 6.
42
They'll run it, trying to drain time off the clock. This junior making his presence felt and making the stop after a short gain. Quick timeout called by the defense, stopping the clock to save as much time as possible for their offense. And the Cavaliers come to the line on 3rd and short, looking to keep the drive moving. The clock will stop with this timeout from the offense. They'll get a chance to regroup on the sideline. The Cavaliers come to the line on 3rd and short, trying to keep the drive alive. Here's the handoff. He's all the way down to the 3. Showed it all on that run.
Man, it's so nice to have a guy that you can depend on. Like, this offense is built around him for a reason. Just a good running back. You can see, gets north-south, doesn't dance, picks up positive yards, breaks tackles. He's just a really good player, and that's why this offense runs through him.
Keeping it on the ground on 1st and goal. And he never had a chance. Just stopped cold as soon as he got it.
Yeah, I think my thought process needs to be points are good. Because if I get a field goal here, that's fine. I take the lead by more than a field goal. They got to go the length of the field. But I also want to run this clock, let it continue to work. But the goal is to get a touchdown. So let's see what this offense dials up next.
Can the defense stop them again on 2nd and goal? Give to the big fullback. And he gets it back to the 4-yard line and no farther.
It's now 3rd and goal.
3rd and goal is where offensive coordinators earn their keep. The defense will use a timeout, and the clock is stopped with 24 seconds left. Third and goal for the offense. From the gun, the running back tries to hit the hole. Into the end zone he goes. Touchdown, Cavaliers.
That is exactly what you want your offense to do. You want it to eat clock, but if you score, go up by 2 possessions, nail, meat, coffin. Great execution by this offense to put this game away.
And you know the standard is indisputable video evidence, and the officials will change the call. Defense uses a timeout. The clock stops with 17 seconds left. They already have the lead, but they will go for the knockout punch here in the 4th quarter on 4th and goal. Someone moved a little early, and the offense will go backward. So the decision has been made, and the coach will take the penalty. And now on 4th down, they will put it on the shoulders of the kicker to save them with his foot. It is true as he puts 3 on the board. That pushes the lead to 6 at 20-14.
Man, so many more times we're going to say, go for it, be aggressive. Nice to have a guy you can depend on, and you know you're putting 3 on the board. Nice kick, nice job.
He'll bring it out. It's Washington. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. This drive will start from the 19-yard line. Back to pass, it's Barber. Shoots it to the left. Pass is incomplete, and we dwindle down to 7 seconds.
Well, the windows right now to throw into are getting smaller and smaller. How about the defender that time breaking on the ball? It was the hit that caused the incompletion.
Gonna swing it on second down. A deep throw as the clock winds down. The pass is incomplete, and 1 second is left.
Well, I know it hasn't been a tremendous day statistically for this quarterback, but his decision-making has been good enough to win this game. Hasn't thrown a lot of TDs so far, but when things aren't open, he throws it away like on that play right there. He's not putting his team in a bad spot, and that's why they still have a shot to walk out of here with a W.
On third and long, he has to throw for it. Unloads to the wideout. Got his man downfield. They make the stop, and the clock strikes 0, and that will do it for this one. They get a big win here and start the season on a positive note.
You got to love that as the players. You come out, you have so much anticipation coming into the season, finally getting ready to play in front of a live audience. You're able to come out and execute and get this win under your belt. David, couldn't be a better way to start the year.
And for the losing team, obviously, it's a little bit different. You have something to look at now to analyze where do I need to get a little bit better, but plenty of time still left in the season to improve and turn it around.
That's going to do it from here. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis, and you've been watching another presentation of EA Sports College Football.